Hi traders, and welcome to our weekly top-down analysis. So let us begin. As always, we begin our analysis from the weekly time frame, where we mark our supply in the demand zones. So right there, we have a demand zone. We have a supply zone up there. And then we also have another supply there. And then down here, we have our demand zone. So from the weekly time frame, our bias is going to be bearish. As you can see, price is moving between there. It's moving from the supply headed to the demand, and we can see it formed a bearish engulfing. So I'm expecting a further drop to this demand zone. So we're going to be looking for selling setups this week on VIX 100, on VIX 100 1S. So that is it from the weekly time frame. And then if we go to the daily time frame, from the daily time frame, this is what we have. Price has been breaking structures to the downside. And then right here, we have a break of structure. Right there, we have a break of structure to the downside. So we have a break of structure. And then the other block which caused that break of structure is that on a price it's reacting from the daily time frame. That is the other block which caused that break of structure. And then if we go to the 4 hours, so from the 4 hours time frame, this is what we have. We're just adjusting our break of structure and order block from the 4 hours time frame. So this is our order block. That is our order block from the 4 hours. From the 4 hours time frame, that is what we have. I am expecting for price to go and mitigate that order block. For price to go and mitigate that order block and then expect a further drop to the downside. And then if we go to the 1 hour, so from the 1 hour time frame, this is what we have. So that is the order block from the 1 hour, and I'm only marking the order block. I'm only marking the order block and not FVG because VIX 100, most of the time from the data that I've collected, it likes to react from the order block. Therefore, I just place my trades at that order block, at the order blocks most of the time. So let us see if all our confluences are intact. So we have a break of structure and then the order block present. And then I am seeing this as liquidity, that price will sweep. As you can see, this is the equal high liquidity. So all this I'm seeing as liquidity, that price will sweep to go and tap us into that order block. I'm seeing this liquidity, that price will sweep to go and tap us into that order block. And then we can expect a move to the downside as the overall trend is bearish. And then if you want to take this trade with me, these are the coordinates for this trade. So our stop loss is going to be slightly below the order block, which is that last high. That is where I'll place my stop loss, which is at 876.64. If you can place the sell limit, the stop loss is going to be at 876.64. And then our entry price is going to be there at 830.05, and then our take profit down here at 691.88. So we just remove these lines. So that is the setup I'll be waiting for on VIX 100 1S this week. So that is all from VIX 100 1S. That is the setup we're going to be waiting for this week. And then if we go to Volatility 100, from the weekly time frame, the bias is clear. We are in a downtrend as price is forming lower lows and lower highs. Lower lows and lower highs. And if you have been following this top-down analysis series, this is the demand zone that price broke and retested. Now we are further pushing to the downside. So my bias, it's still bearish as we are still forming lower lows and lower highs. And then from the daily time frame, we can see this is the recent break of structure, the recent break of structure to the downside. So we have a break of structure and then the order block which caused that break of structure. From the daily time frame, it is that one where price mitigated and we are pushing to the downside. We are pushing to the downside. And if you can check the previous episode, I did call out this setup last week. I did call out this setup last week, and it took 3 days for price to go and mitigate my order block. So let us see if we can complete this move. So from my previous video, which was last week, I did call out this move. I said price was going to mitigate this order block, and it indeed mitigated the order block, and we are getting a push to the downside, and we are going to place our take profit at this low. Let's see if we can still catch some pips before the move is done. So this was a break of structure. And then the order block, which caused the break of structure, price stepped in and we are pushing. We are pushing to the downside. If we go to the 1 hour, which is our entry time frame, price, you can see we had a break of structure, and then price went to go and mitigate the order block. As you can see, this move, it took about 3 days for price to go and step in. So you have to be very patient with these volatility indices. Don't think that price has left you. Just be patient, wait for price to go and mitigate your area of interest or point of interest. Like this move, I waited for this move last week before price stepped in here. So you have to be very patient. And then let us see, price is moving by mitigating these structures, mitigating these order blocks, I mean. So we are breaking structures to the downside. And then we also have this order block that price mitigated. So these are the order blocks that price mitigated already. So we have that order block. Right now, price has not broken new lows. Therefore, now I'm expecting for price to still push further down. So should price break this low, as we can see, price is still pushing down. So this will be a break of structure. This will be a break of structure to the downside. And then when price decides to break that low, I'm gonna wait for a break of structure and then a retracement or a retest of that order block for price to mitigate the order block. And then we can still catch a move to the downside because our take profit is going to be at this level. So for now, there is no coordinates to give or instant execution, but we are just going to wait for price to break this low, to break the low and then go back, wait for a retracement to the order block, and then we can join this move to the downside as our bias is bearish. All right, traders, that's it for this episode. If you did get something out of this episode, do give it a thumbs up, drop a comment in the comment section, and then consider subscribing to the channel. And I will see you next week in our top-down analysis video. Happy trading.